Hi everybody, this is Dan Talk Sense, and today I'll be reviewing the latest release in the Dior Sauvage line. It's called Elixir. This has been getting absolutely massive hype in the community, so I want to see if it lives up to that hype and whether it's worth its hefty price tag. I'll tell you what I think it smells similar to compared to other fragrances in my collection, give you an idea of its performance and projection, and make a conclusion on whether I think that you should go out and buy this fragrance. So if that kind of content would interest you, then please stay tuned. Welcome back everyone. Now, it's been a while since I dropped some content, so I do apologise to my subscribers that I haven't done anything for a while, but this is something I'm really excited about reviewing. I've got some other reviews in the next coming days coming up, so I'm going to do a bit of a cluster of them together. Elixir has been getting massive hype on Fragcom UK, Certified Scents, which I'm part of on Facebook, in Fragcom Bangladesh, in the Emporium of Scents. All the fragrance groups I'm involved in, people have been hyping this fragrance, saying it's a great release from Dior in the Sauvage line, and that you should definitely go out and sample it. And I'll say to anybody out there to get a sample. Now, it is expensive, the fragrance itself, £120 for 60 mils. I actually paid £25 for 10 ml sample of this, which is in the bottom of this bottle, before I go out and buy the full purchase. And I'd advise anybody else to do that, as it's just a safe thing to do. If you don't like the fragrance, you just shelled out £120 on it, then you're going to feel a little bit gutted. So that's what I'm going to do today, is give you my first impressions, tell you about its performance projection, and just basically, like I said in the intro, tell you whether I think it lives up to that hype. So here we go. Now, what you'll notice is when you first spray it on is it is extremely peppery and spicy. So for some reason my phone cut out there, so just to restart filming. But yeah, spicy, peppery, and randomly, for some reason, I picked up a coffee note, which was random because I know that's not listed, but that's what hits you, really peppery and spicy in the first blast. But what you'll notice as well is how well it's blended. You don't get the alcohol blast like you did in the EDT, and you can tell why it's of a higher price tag. But what I would say is that it's a beautiful scent, and really impressed in the first spray on the wrist. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to head out to the shops. I'm going to see how it develops on my skin, do a bit of a diary and update you on how it's developing on my skin. And then when I come back into the house later, that's when I make a conclusion on whether I think it's worthy of its hype. So if that kind of thing would interest you, then stick with me and I'll try and answer all those questions that people have been asking. Now, this is a part of Telford called Manningsley. I'm just walking down to the shops now. It smells glorious, guys. I got to admit, for me, I'd say it's probably the best smelling one of the Sauvage line, in my opinion. And that's a big statement because the EDT is still as popular as ever. But I always think that the EDT smells a little synthetic, and I think it's just gone a bit boring now because everybody's wearing it. For me, it just really blended well, really peppery and nice and smooth in the opening, and so far so good. It's definitely projecting off my skin, give me a nice scent bubble. So yeah, really impressed with it so far. I've been wearing it about an hour now, and yeah, enjoying it so far. So guys, does it live up to its hype in Fragcom that it's getting? In my opinion, yes it does, because this is of an exceptional quality. It reminds me of other fragrances from the Dior line. One is Fahrenheit Parfum, and another one is Dior Home Parfum. And the reason it reminds me of them two is because they're other fragrances in the Dior line that are designer fragrances, but I believe are of a niche quality. And I know that gets bandied about quite a bit, and people say, but is niche always of a high quality? It's one of those things that people use as a way of explaining the quality of a fragrance. It just feels like there's been more effort put into putting this fragrance together. Now, leather isn't listed in this one, but for me it kind of gave me that sort of, I was picking up that leather vibe. It's sort of the DNA of the original Sauvage, but you take away the unboxing and sort of that cheap synthetic aspect of the fragrance. You enhance the pepper notes, and they smell really, really good. And the lavender in this, throughout the fragrance, smells really, really good. Somebody had commented saying that it smells like Zaharoff's signature fragrance, the first one that he brought out. And it does actually remind me of that one as well, because the lavender in that one is of really high quality. Performance projection wise of this one, I've been wearing this now for about 5 hours and I can still smell the scent bubble around me. It is a really, really high performing, good quality fragrance. You know, the scent bubble is quite wide. I can still smell it around me after 5 hours. So all this talk about the performance projection is spot on. It is really, really good performing and projecting fragrance. And you would be expecting that for the price that you're paying. Going on to the price, it's £120 for 60ml. Do I think it's worthy of that price? I think it's slightly overpriced. When you consider that Dior Homme Parfum and Fahrenheit Parfum are priced under £100 for 75ml, I would put this on par with them two fragrances and said it's probably about £20, maybe £30 overpriced. But I've noticed there's been a number of discounts going around. There's one with the perfume shop in the UK where they were offering 20% off. So if you could pick this up for about 100 quid for 60ml, although it is expensive for a designer fragrance, I think it's worth the price. I always think about this as well with a fragrance. If it's a really good quality, high performing, high projecting fragrance, it's worthy of those extra prices, because with this one you probably only spray a couple of sprays behind the ears, maybe one on the wrist, and it's going to last all day and people smell you all day. So although the price per mil is higher than you'd usually pay, with a cheaper fragrance you're going to reapply throughout the day. It might not last as long and it might not smell as expensive. This smells expensive, it will get you compliments, and it's really well put together fragrance. And I think what they were doing is they're capitalising on the Sauvage name, but wanting a sort of a niche quality high-end fragrance for a different target market. And using the Sauvage name could work against them, because a lot of people are put off buying fragrances in the Sauvage line because so many people are wearing them. But for me, I think it works in a good way as well, because people are intrigued to know what they've done with the Sauvage DNA and what they've done to change it up. So yeah, really impressed with it. It is expensive. I paid £25 for 10ml, which is probably the most I've spent on 10ml of perfume before. But I'm glad that I've smelt it. I think I will go out and buy the full bottle of this one eventually, and if I could get a 20% discount, I'll definitely be doing that, because this will smell exceptional in the office. But just to summarize again, when I first sprayed it on, high amount of pepper, really spicy. I picked up for some reason a coffee vibe, but I think that's the licorice, the thing that they used in Montal Intense Cafe. That's what I picked up when I first sprayed it on. For me, it's sort of got a backbone. It sort of gives me a leather vibe, which I was surprised about when I looked at the notes. It's not in there, but it reminded me of Tom Ford's Ombre leather, where they put the spices and the leather together, and it seems to work really well. And then for the duration of the fragrance, the lavender in this just smells of a really, really high quality. So you've got the pepper of the original that I like, and a lot of people do, but you've got the really nice high quality lavender that brings it up a level, well, a lot of levels, to a really high standard. So yeah, fantastic fragrance, one of the best. I would say that it's the best smelling of the line, for sure. And I think that this is going to be really, really popular fragrance for a long, long time, and will be classed as one of the best releases of 2021. Let me know your thoughts on the fragrance. Let me know what you think of it, and if you think it's worthy of the price, and how it's performing and projecting off your skin. And thank you for the first time dropping into my channel. I will kindly ask if you could subscribe and hit the like button, because it's really helpful to support the channel. Thank you all for taking the time to watch my review, and I'll speak to you all very soon.